Welcome to PlanetCodez. I'm Mike. In this channel, we will learn LangChain through practical real-world projects, step by step, with clear explanation and working code. If you're ready to build AI application instead of just watching tutorial, you're in the right place. Let's get started. In this video, you will learn how to build an interactive AI chat app with Chainlit from zero to a working demo. If you want to turn an LLM into a real chat experience, Chainlit is one of the fastest ways. Chainlit is a framework for building interactive AI chat applications. It helps you create a UI for your model, track conversation and debug experiences so you can focus on building the logic instead of fighting front-end code. Alright guys, before we continue, we need to install the required packages on our computer. First, we'll start with Chainlit. As you followed my previous videos, we need to install a few packages including LangChain and LangChain Hugging Face. Now, the important point is that the Chainlit isn't compatible with Python 3.14, which we used in my previous video. In this video, we're going to use Python 3.12 because otherwise you will get errors when you run the application. We install Chainlit simply by this command here, npm install Chainlit, and that's it. In the next step, we need to import necessary classes that we need to use in our application. So I just simply paste them, and I'm not going to explain the first and the second line of this code because I've already explained it in the video of setting up LangChain. The third line is about LangChain .messages class, which it has three modules called human message, system message, and AI message. And the human message is the message that we give it to the AI. The system message is the role that we define for the AI to know what it should do for us. The AI message is the answer that the model gives to the user. In the first line, we import Chainlit as CL. So whenever in our code that we wanted to refer to Chainlit, we just simply use CL. After this, we need to initialize our system message variable because it's very important for our application. It defines for our AI model what role it has and what behavior it should have. So I just paste it here. It's constant in our application, and be careful when you write this because it's very important for our application and it's the foundation of our application. In the next step, we need to define our model and use our API inside our application to use it. So for doing this, we create a function called build chat model because we want to call it more than once in our application. So we just simply define the chat model function, and inside that we call our API key and our LLM endpoint to connect with our model. And we define the setting here, and I don't see any reason to explain it again because I have explained this in the previous video called setting up LangChain. Okay, in next step, we need to initialize the onChat function in our application. It's so important to initialize this class because if we don't do this, the Chainlit wouldn't be able to start. So we just simply paste the code here and explain it for you. We use @ at here to tell the Chainlit when to use this function, and we use this decorator to hook this function to Chainlit. And after that, we have the definition of on chat start function, and we use async word here because we tell the application not to freeze, just continue your execution and wait till this ends. And after that, we need to initialize our chat model. We just simply use the function that we have defined earlier in our application. And then we need to initialize the session of the user. We just simply call the chainlit.users_session.set, and we give the chat model that we have initialized here to introduce it to our Chainlit. And after that, we need to set the history. The history is a variable that it contains the history of our messages, and as soon that we start the application, the only thing that we have to introduce to our application as history is the system message and the system prompt that we defined here earlier. And after that, we should send a message to the user. So we use the cl.message, and we give it the content of already send me a sentence to translate to French, and it has a function send to send it to the user. So we use await function here to the application waits till this message is shown to the user, and then continue to the next processes. The next step is to initialize the onMessage function, which is responsible for sending the message of the user to the model and receive the response and show it to the user. So for doing this, I just simply paste the code and explain it for you. So the onMessage function, it has an input variable called message that it contains the user message, and it's inside the message class that belongs to the Chainlit class. So the first step is to introduce our chat model. We don't need to call the chat model function because we already defined our chat model inside user session. After defining our chat model here, we should create a variable called history to contain our history. So we receive the history of the past messages, which are stored in the user session variable. And after that, we need to add the current message to the history. So we just simply call our history variable and append function to add the user message to the history. In the next step, we need to create a container in our UI, and we will do this by sending an empty message to the Chainlit to create a container for our response that we receive from the model to show it to the user. So we just simply create a message variable here with content which is an empty string, and send it to Chainlit to be ready to receive the answer from the model and show it. Next, we create a variable called full response to hold the message that we receive from the model. So why we do this is that some of the models, they support streaming, and they give you the message in parts of text that we call them chunk here, and you can receive each chunk and show it to the user, and or you could receive the full response in just one message that we used earlier from this function invoke. And we should use try except block here. So if a model supports the streaming, we use this block, and if it's not, we just receive the message once and put it in full response variable to show it to the user. So we define here a for loop for each chunk in chat model.stream from the history. We just put each chunk, which they are separated with spaces, and for each chunk we add it to the full response, and we just use a stream token to send each chunk to the Chainlit to show it to the user. So if it doesn't support the model, it doesn't support the streaming, it will jump out on this line of code, and that's it. Now we need to put the full response variable that it contains the response from our model to the message.content, the message that we created here, that it was an empty message. And after that, we need to update the message to show it to the user. We use this function, message.update. After that, we need to append the response of the message to the history. So we call history.append, and we put the full response into the history. After that, we just set the history that we updated here to the history of the Chainlit. So by doing this, you would update the history. So for the next message, everything is stored in the history and the model knows what to do next. And finally, let's start our application. I just simply open the terminal, and you could just type this to run the application Chainlit run, and you could just write the name of the file of Python that you've been working on. And here is chatbot underline chainlit. No, I have a problem on my computer and I need to use another command because I have a different version of Python installed on my computer, and I want to use Python 3.12, as I mentioned at the first part of this video, that the Chainlit is only compatible with 3.12 version. So instead of this line of code, I use this, that I just introduced the path of my Python 3.12 here. So my interpreter will use this version for running this application. All right, let's do it. Let's hit the magic key. As you could see, the application runs in your web browser, and this is the chat environment of the Chainlit. And you just simply write a message for our application to translate it. I want to write here that my name is Mike, and I'm a software engineer, and that's it. And you could see that the model responds very well to us, but there is some faults inside it. And as you can see, there is some tags. It's think. We could remove them by revising our system prompt and make this shorter. If you found this helpful, please like it and subscribe to my channel. Next, I'll build more apps with LangChain. Until then, take care of yourselves. Bye.